a little bit of training.
Sure.
All right, so let me just share my screen. I don't know if I did that already. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, all right, so this is your profile. I just logged in under your account, so we can use your account as an example. So I think the best thing to point out right from the beginning is that in business, especially as a trading company, it's important to manage your risk. And we are all about managing your risk. In fact, there's 5 levels of risk avoidance. I'm going to talk you through them, but I'll also show you how that looks inside the product. Okay. So the first point is obviously in lowering your risk, you want to make sure that you're dealing with the right trading partners. So that means that when a company is known to you, and you before you do business with it, you should definitely go and look them up and see what their rating is, what their profile looks like on Tradefox. And also, like, if you're looking around for new trading partners, you should find the right trading companies trading partners, and avoid the ones that are problematic. So you can find company reports here on this top bar. Thanks, Denise. You can see here, you can type in the name of a company if you know them. You can do a search by material. You can say, look, I'm looking for ferrous. I'm looking for suppliers from United Kingdom, for example. We'll give that as an example. Do a search. And this is a list of companies. There are, let's see how many we have here on this list. At the bottom, you can see 631 companies in the United Kingdom that deal in ferrous. Now, there's way more companies in our database that we may not be aware of that deal in ferrous, but this probably means that we have trade data on that company. And you'll see you have to unlock profiles here in order to view those reports. Keep in mind that the reports on the from the top to the bottom, we organize them so that the first 2 or 3 pages that you'll find are the companies that we have the most information on, right? So that way, it could be good scores, bad scores, but we want to make sure the more information we have, the more accurate our numbers are, and more confident we can be about a company. Do you see a company here that you know that we can take a look at?
We can look at Ward Recycling.
Ward Recycling, okay. Do you work with Ward?
Yep.
Okay. So here, all right, let me go separately over to another screen and set up a credit for you actually real quick, so I can unlock a few reports. I'm just going to give you a few credits here. You can also use them if we don't use them on the call as well. You can use them later if you like. Just give you some credits for unlocks. So let me refresh the screen now. Okay, so I've got 5 credits here. I'm going to unlock the profile. You can see some badges here. You can see those without unlocking before you go in. This is because this company's received 50 trust reviews. Means that industry peers within Tradefox have rated this company, given them a score, and you can see that information down here. Okay. 51 ratings, 3.6. It's okay. Well, 4 and above is great, actually. So in the 3s is good. Okay. And so that's their score from 51 users. That's really important. Tradefox trust score is at the top. We have an algorithm that goes through and looks at all the information we have on them. It looks at trading partners. It looks at materials traded, volumes, revenues, employee, the company size, time in business. There's a lot of factors, also all the feedback that we have. And out of this comes a score. And essentially what this is saying is that we have enough information that they're in the green and that they don't have a lot of negative information. The great companies are in the 900s, just so you know. So there's something here pulling the score down a bit, but it's still a recommend from our side. They're involved in 3 trade associations. This is probably the most important information right here are the trade feedback reviews. You can see here that out of 77 trades, looks like we have ratings from 77 individual trades, average score of 4.5 on integrity. That's really great, by the way. 4.0 on claims process. So in this case, they had 24 people have scored them for their claims handling. A little bit less than the integrity, but okay, it's still pretty good. 4.5 is good. So this is a way of knowing, and I'll just scroll down in case you're not familiar with this. You can see trading partners are here, a list of companies here. So that they've traded with. So this is the way that you can just basically look up these companies and you'll know whether or not you should be trading with them. That's kind of what's important. So the first level, again, going back to it, is just making sure you're picking the right companies. That's number one.
Okay.
The second level of risk avoidance is making sure that you keep an eye on these companies, and that's what I mentioned earlier. It's called Tradefox monitoring. And I'll show you how to access that. So you'll see this company's reports unlocked, right? Here's the company listed right here. You can have multiple companies unlocked. So what we recommend you do is that you follow all the companies that you deal with regularly. Reason why is because you should be monitoring them. And when you add them, they'll go in this little box here. The box expands and you'll have tabs and you can keep track of all the companies that you're trading with. You just unlock those profiles using your credits. Okay. What's really probably the most important thing about that is if that company is flagged again for like an unfair trading practice that we just spoke about, or if something impacts their score substantially, you'll get a push notification to the Tradefox app. That's real handy because I think of the times when you're about to enter a business deal with a company, or maybe you've already signed a contract and then you're getting ready to transfer the money in 2 or 3 days, containers are arriving, and then you get a push notification from Tradefox saying this company's been reported for a quality issue, right? What are you going to do?
Now, at least you'll have some information, to do whatever you have to do.
Yeah, I would send.
Be waiting.
Yeah, I would just at least send somebody out to inspect, right? I mean, I want to make sure that I wouldn't want to take the chance. Quality issues happen all the time. The unresolved quality issues are the ones that get flagged, right? And so there's something going on, there's a dispute going on. It doesn't mean Word Recycling is a bad supplier. It just means that there's a dispute going on. Now, if there are 2 or 3 going on, maybe there's something wrong with Word Recycling. It's something to keep in mind. So then we just recommend that you monitor these companies that you're trading with and unlock them. So you're picking companies first that are you're doing your research before you trade, actually, making sure that the reports look good, that the information is there that you need to see to feel comfortable with the company. And then you're monitoring them actively so that in the background, if anything's reported, you're going to be notified. That's the second thing. The third level is called it's becoming a data contributor, essentially. So you see you have pending trade reviews right here. This is how we get the information that you just saw in Word Recycling. If you scroll down through this, you can expand this down. You could go through and leave feedback, and we've talked about this before, but you can leave feedback on all these companies. Like just pick one just to show you how it works. Integrity, verbal and written commitments, how do you rate them? Payment process, do they pay rapidly on time, or have there been some problems in the past? Were there claims, yes or no? If yes, how do you feel that they handled that claims process? Any additional comments that you want to put in for us to know about? And then really importantly, if you ever want to submit feedback and you don't want the public or also this other company to know about it, you just click this box right here, submit confidentially. Only we keep that information. We know that you submitted it, but the other party doesn't realize that you've given the feedback. So I highly recommend that you, when you rate companies, especially if they're good suppliers, buyers, that you let them know by not submitting it, by not clicking this box here, because that's the way that people know that, hey, we do a good job. They know we're a good supplier, a good buyer. And they're kind of you're patting them on the back, right? So I think that works to help get more business as well, because it's just a way of publicly acknowledging that these guys are good. It rewards people.
But this says leave a review for 95 trades with Rimjim Ispat. So does that mean the 95 trades that Ward has had with Rimjim Ispat?
No. So this is you. This is your profile.
Okay, so I can leave a feedback.
Exactly. This is only visible for you on your side. These are your pending trades here. And
okay, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Like I deal with all these companies.
Yeah. These are your customers. Yeah. But yes. And here's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned this, because 95 trades, it is an average over 95 trades, right? So if you feel like that you want to go more granular, you can actually do that by going through your trade list at the bottom. But the thing is, we've noticed, because people have asked us to look, we've got like 100 plus trading partners to review. Here you have 208, right? We were asked, more than a year and a half ago to implement some type of process where people could rate the average over all the trades. And so that's what this is right here. If you want to go more granular, you let us know. If you have a problem with a company and maybe you stop doing business with them, but it's not something you want to report as an unfair trade, but you're really unhappy with them. It's not really fair to give them a 2 across, 20 trades, right? Probably they were good for the first 16, and then the last 4 they were bad, and then you can rate them. So if you need some, we look for this. So every time you submit a review, if we see, and we do see these, that a person has said they gave them a 1 star or 2 star for something, but they traded a lot of times with them, we'll typically contact you and say, hey, what's the full story here? And we'll go back and fix the data, because we don't want to unfairly penalize people. We want it to be known, basically, that they have broken relationships and created problems, but probably they did, 20 good trades and then 5 bad ones for you were done with it. And we'll go back and manually fix that for you. So it's faster for us to do it that way, and you just to note it in here, and we go back and call you and get the information that it is for you to go down here. Well, you have to go to your profile and go like trade by trade, and that's very time consuming. I know you don't have that kind of time. So
can I see my company also, like how much is the rate?
Absolutely. Let's take a look. Yeah, 811. Your score could be a lot higher, by the way. I'm sure of it. And let's take a look though. You have good feedback scores on the trades. That's great. For some reason, you only have about 10 ratings, but it's on the lower end, the trustworthy score. We can, for customers, we can also go in and evaluate that just to say, hey, no, everything is fine. We also, we are very actively looking at the reviews that people give companies, and we're looking for abuse. We're looking for situations where maybe there's a relationship between a competitor or something like that. Because here, it can be anybody in Tradefox, any Tradefox member. This is known buyers and sellers. We know for sure these are your trading partners. So this is why this data is the most valuable. And we scored this more than this, but this is very important, and it's impacting your score here. So we can review this. You have a couple of claims reported by somebody. These are good scores again down here, but what you can do here is, that's kind of where I was going with this, you can become a data contributor. And what that means is you're giving feedback to Tradefox. Every time you give feedback, it also triggers your trading partners to give feedback on your company. There's also another very quick and easy way you can do this. You can request feedback from all your trading partners at one time. And then we just send out email notifications to everybody that's on Tradefox stating that it's on your behalf. So it says, we're working on improving our profile at Tradefox. Could you take a few minutes and give us feedback? And then probably that's going to encourage people to come back, give reviews, and that'll boost your score. The more information we have down here, the higher confidence level the algorithm is in assigning a score. So like companies that have like 200 or 300 trades reviewed or more, they're at this level, which should be 900 or plus. So that's one thing that I can do for you. Any questions about how that works? So you want to see your whole profile? Let me just scroll down. This is the rest of it here. This is individual trades, quantities, some of the last port here in case of Pakistan, it's not the actual origin. You have many different pages here. There's more than 4, but I think there's probably 10 or 20 pages here. But you just click the last button here. Yeah, 68 pages of information. So we go all the way back for you guys to 2016. Looks like a lot of this is coming from Pakistan data, but we also pull data from DGFT in India, some big shipping lines, and also the US. So US import exports. Any questions about this, about all this here?
Very straightforward, and it's pretty intuitive. I mean, it's what you need basically.
Okay. So going back to the dashboard, this is again coming back to the level 3 of risk avoidance, and I'll explain it. It may not sound like risk avoidance at first, but if you become a data contributor, you're going to end up with a badge on your profile. You didn't see the badge at the top yet because you've not been giving data. You can earn that badge pretty quickly by going through here and filling out these, because you got so many reviews. You could be at 100 plus trade reviews. What that's going to do is going to give you a badge. I think we saw it earlier on Ward Recycling. Well, you saw the badges at the top of Ward Recycling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't go back there. So basically, this will give you the data contributor status. Now, here's a clever way of using data contributor status. So everybody can see this, even the public. This is something that they don't have to unlock your profile. They can look at it in Tradefox. They can Google your name. It comes to the public page. You see the badges. So what you do is, and actually one of our members brought this to our attention. That's very clever. Now we tell everybody to do the same thing. It's such a great idea. But you know that point when you're having when a deal's kind of looking shaky and you're like, oh man, the guy said he's going to load on Thursday and he now needs till Monday, and that Monday's passed and that's now Tuesday and he's asking for 2 more days. And, it's like, it could go either way. And you're like wondering, where this is going, market's going up, you're suspecting maybe the guy's going to walk away from a deal, et cetera. So this is the point where you contact them in a very friendly voice and you say, listen, we have had great business with you. You're a great company and we love working with you guys. And we understand the problems happen. I just want you to be aware that we have a contract with Tradefox. We're a Tradefox data contributor, and we have certain guidelines where we have a responsibility for our services, for as part of our deal with Tradefox, that we need to report these late shipments to them. It's just part of what I have to do, and it's for the whole network. So I can't push it any longer. So I can give you till Tuesday, but I have to report it after Tuesday. If you're not able to do it, I'm sorry, and typically what that does is it gets the deal back on track, because, I learned this in my days of being a trader, but when people make bad decisions, when they're at working in a scrapyard, they're not always necessarily the smartest international business people in the world, right? But they sell at the wrong time. The market's going up. They start seeing their profit margin running away from them. Maybe they didn't secure the raw material that they needed to cut up for the scrap. So then they're looking, owners talking to his partner. Okay, we've got like 15 companies that we deal with. These top 5 here are bread and butter. We have to honor them. These guys in the middle, which ones are we going to cut here? We're going to have to get rid of a couple of these companies, right? That's how this internal discussion works. And what you want to be is in the top 5, right? And so with Tradefox, because you're in part of a 4,000 plus member networks, bigger than any trade association, and they realize that you're a data contributor, suddenly it gets real. And they go, maybe they should be up here, basically. And I think that's a real clever, very soft way to basically, caution them, but without being aggressive or being negative. So I like that strategy. So we actually advise everybody to do this. And so the fourth thing that you can do, however, is take the step of reporting them. So when they've not shipped, they're holding your money, or the contract's in breach, or they're going to break the contract. It depends on what level it is. But probably the easiest thing to do is to go ahead and report them, just like you've done with these 3 companies. I think you're familiar with that process. You go to the company profile like this. You scroll down to appraise or report company. And then you would say something like quality, well, in this case, canceled order, for example. Now, again, you're going to provide the same thing you're doing in these other deals. It'll be much more simpler because it'll be happening in real time. You'll give us a contract, WhatsApp conversations, anything, email chain, whatever it takes. These guys have canceled the order. I want to report them. Boom, click it. With that kind of evidence right in front of us, we can make a decision within 1 to 2 business days. They get flagged. The whole process triggers where they're also, as I told you before, notifications go out to the trading partners. So that's the level 4. That's like, first one is being nice. Second one is like, guy, I'm going to report you. And when you fix the problem, we're going to go back to doing business together or not, but I'm not removing the report until you fix the problem, right? Tradefox has reviewed it independently. They've verified all this. They know exactly what happened now, and there's nothing you can really do. You can talk to them about it, but you know what the facts are, right? So that's a very hard approach, but you need that approach sometimes, and then you're leveraging the entire network against the person that's actually committing an unfair trading practice. And then the last thing is the capital recovery, which we talked about. That's where we go to work for you. We have legal assistance in 2 or 3 countries, but that list is growing. We're building out a team of people that are going to be ultimately working full time on this project, and it's growing quite quickly. So we're starting to hire a full-time person soon for that position, and it'll grow from there. But we go to work for you and help you recover the money. And again, that's just a service that's the worst case. Like, all else fails, you tried to pick the best company, you picked a good company that looked good, you've been monitoring them, nothing happened. You have some issues, you told them nicely, I'm a data contributor, they didn't respond, then you reported them and they're running away, they're not doing anything about it, they don't care, then we get involved. So that's within these 5 levels of risk avoidance, it creates an airtight system, in my opinion, to help your business avoid these kind of problems.
Sure, I would agree with you, because like, it's better than actually doing nothing about something. I mean, you have like 5 steps that you can take to kind of, either mitigate that risk, or either overcome that risk, or just try and solve the problem. And I think that's great. I mean, there's really nothing to lose here. So I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. I mean, and it's built from lessons learned the hard way from myself, being in your shoes, basically, not doing the volumes you guys do, not having as that much many years in experience in those days, but yeah, you know, I learned my lessons, and I've been in this industry a quarter of a century now, so I've seen a lot. So yeah, this is for you. I mean, you know, as a buyer, as a trading company, you are exposed to a lot of risk from suppliers. This is where the problems start always, right? Whatever goes in that box ends up on a importer's floor in their factory, and it's their problem and your problem. And you're a company operating with integrity. You're cleanly stuck right in the middle, because even if you have a problem from the buyer side, you're also stuck, right? So trading companies have the most to gain from our system, because you get protections from both sides. You're looking at putting deals together all the time. You need to make sure you're working with good, solid companies, and you need the muscle of a large organization. I mean, everybody can benefit from a large group of people, just like ISRI or BIR membership. But I would argue that what we're doing is even more valuable, because like ISRI, for example, is a bunch of suppliers mostly. Okay, traders are also in there, but it's hard to really get that recognition when you have a problem to get it out to the network. I don't know that there's really a good system for that. BIR has some arbitration, but I don't think you publicize within the BIR that you have a problem under the BIR. Remember, I think it's handled behind closed doors. This is a way to actually instantly get immediate notification out to the masses. So yeah, I would. So that's what we built here.
I should start arbitrating as well. You should have some kind of a system where you, like, maybe there's two companies that have a very good score on your network, and they get into a problem, and then there should be some way that we can solve it with a mediator or like an arbitrator in the middle. And there's always a chance for that. Maybe you can charge a small fee for that.
Yep.
And then you can hear out both the parties, and you guys can take like an individual decision on that. Sorry.
Yeah. We have a drawing board project. It's not high priority right now. This is the beginning stages of like starting to we feel like we can make a bigger difference now with a smaller staff. But ultimately, we indeed want to create a arbitration forum, which will imagine it. I envision it like this. You have a community here of people that are trying to do good business together. We all agree what's fair and what's not fair in general, but obviously there's all kinds of exceptions. Everybody as a member then has a bit of community responsibility to, from time to time, sit in on a board, a panel, review cases, give opinions. 100% this way at fault, or is it 90-10 or 50-50? Let's settle this amongst ourselves. There's a lot involved to set that up. It's a very offline practice, but we want to try to make it like digital. And we also want to create ways where people, we want to make sure that people aren't biased by cultural areas. Like, you don't want to have a person that thinks he's written off doing business with one country because he's had problems before. You don't want him involved in making decisions with that somebody from that country is involved. These kinds of things. There's a lot to that. We'll get there. And thank you for suggesting.
Have like a random jury kind of panel, which is selected from the highest rated members in your network. And then you can probably kind of have like a video conferencing, and things can get solved there. People will save money. Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will get there. So let me ask you for one thing, just on this front, on the product side of things. Well, would you like for me would you like for us to request a feedback from your trading partners so we can get more information in so you get your score up a bit?
Sure, why not? Yeah,
I can do that for you. That's easy. I mean, literally, it's like this. I just click it and it's done. So that'll happen. So give that some days where people will respond in and start bringing in the feedback. Okay. The second thing is, I would really love it if you would take the time to this is a big number, but if you could knock out like 15 of these or 20 of these a day for a little while. I mean, whatever you have, when you have some free time. I can also give you a substantial discount on that annual subscription as well, in exchange for providing this kind of value to the product as well. So that's if you're interested in that, I can arrange 3 months off of an annual subscription even. So typically, we charge $19.50 for an annual subscription, which is 10 months of the $195 plan. So I can create because you have so many trades to give here. Let me just calculate that amount real quick. 6 times So there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like 7 times 195. Yes, it's like for 13. If you're interested in getting an annual subscriptions, I could do that for 1365, and you can let me know if you want to do that soon or in the near future. Then I would just credit back these 3 months of towards that for knocking out these trade feedbacks.
Okay, and what if I do all of them? Would you give me a membership for free if I do?
That was my offer for all of them. It will take you, it takes about, to give feedback on 50 companies, it might take you an hour. I think that, so the way I was thinking about it was, okay, well, 3 months worth is $600. You know, I know your time is valuable, obviously, but I mean, what you keep it in mind this way, you're also doing you're helping us grow as a, you know, you're helping us grow as a company. You're improving our product a lot, and we're reaching a critical mass at that stage. So it's also good to kind of further the interest in making sure that what we're doing is successful. But I can knock off, like, you know, $600 worth.
Sure, of course, I understand.
Yeah. So I appreciate the request, and but I would really love that if you could do that. Would you be interested in subscribing for an annual subscription, like at that rate?
Yep, that's fine. We can do that.
I can prepare I'll prepare an invoice for that, and I'll just go ahead and we'll assume that you're going to knock this out over the next couple of weeks, if that's okay. And that also means that we can get immediately to work on your capital recovery also. Right. Okay. So let's do that. Now, another question, I know we're going over on time, but you mentioned before you might have an interest in investing in our company at one point. And we were raising money a while back, and we raised the money, and that raise is over. But I've just kicked off a new funding round. We're going to raise 700K. I've already secured 250K. Okay. And I'm interested in finding people that, especially industry people, that are interested in investing at the range of 100,000 plus or minus, because I'm trying to create like a group of like 12 people, you know, like 10 people or so that can be in a larger round. Maybe it's only going to be 6 people or 5 people because one person put 250 in already. But if you would like to consider that, I've got information that I could send you, and then I would like to have a separate discussion about why in the world you would put money in this company, and then what's the actual reward and payout for you. Is that something?
Yeah. We can rope my partner in as well. My uncle, he stays in Dubai. So we can rope him in for that conversation as well. And, you know, we can have a separate meeting. In the meanwhile, you can send me the paperwork. You can send me the documentation that you have, you know, maybe some kind of financials or some kind of projections or something.
Done. I'll do that. So let's take it. So just summarize, you're going to give us information on the first one. Denise was actually in the room for a few minutes. She was quite thumbs up, and she's excited because she's really wanting to get to work on it. So I'm going to tell her, she's going to be happy. But you get her the information on the one case, the 2 cases when you can, the feedback as you can. I'll have her prepare an invoice for the 1-year subscription. And then I'm going to, so I have a meeting tomorrow. I'm going to Antwerp to meet with the Gemini and EU Metal. You probably know those guys.
Oh,
Gemini Corporation, Gemini.
Yeah.
They're quite big. Yeah, I'm going to meet with them tomorrow. I'm going to hit Beg and probably the chairman, and also going to so I've got 2 meetings tomorrow with really nice large companies that are based in Belgium. So tomorrow I'm going to be out of pocket, but next week I will get you information and set up a time where we can talk, me, you, and your partner. And this will be just about the investment. I'll say this, man. We've come a long ways, and we've gotten to a point now where I'm now, have been for a while now, 100% sure that we're not going to fail. It's just a matter of how successful we're going to be. And the rewards, the payouts for the investment at this level is easily 10x, can be 20 or 30x. I'll explain all that to you, but there's a lot of reward for taking an investment in this. But it's, to me, more important to get investment from industry folks at this point, because we got 2,300 investors, and almost all of them, 99.9% of them, are from the finance sector and outside of the scrap business. We only have a very small number of investors from the industry, like 6. I want to grow that. So, and I think it's important because having you guys invested with us and other guys like Gemini and different other companies, it just guarantees that we're going to be very successful, because then we start getting the consciousness of all the great companies out there, and well, we can't lose at all. So I'll walk you through that all. It's exciting, AJ, and I really hope that you guys are interested in getting in, because I would love to have you guys.
Definitely interested in getting in. I mean, it's a noble cause, and we're always in for noble causes. It's not going to benefit me as much, but it's definitely going to benefit a lot of newcomers and a lot of people who are probably not as hands-on as I am with my business. So I don't want them to use money to cheat us, and I think cheaters must be brought to task. So I think this is the best way to kind of eliminate that whole process of going through that rigmarole of trying to extract your money back and trying to recover and everything. I think this is good. So I think my partner would be interested as well. I'm pretty sure about it, actually.
That's awesome. Great, yeah. AJ. That's for you guys, man.
Once we can shed a little more light on how the financials and how the equity or whatever we get and everything, like once that works out, like once everything is mapped out, then I think it'll be easier to take a decision and
you got it. Absolutely.
Do I have to still pay for membership then?
Sorry?
Do I have to still pay for membership if I?
No. I'm sure we can arrange a free membership for you. If you invest 100,000, we can get you some free membership. Don't worry about it. All right. Hey, AJ, this is great. It's great to finally have a face-to-face with you. I'm actually still sharing my screen. You're staring at my other. But yeah, it's great to have a face-to-face with you. Now, where are you today? Are you did you say you're in India or?
Yes, I'm in Mumbai now.
Okay. When are you going to be back in Dubai?
I was in Dubai just before Diwali. I came back for Diwali, and now I'm going to head back. Actually, I have my passport, which is gone for the Canadian PR. So basically I qualified for it, and they wanted my passport to kind of approve it. And it's been with them for for the last 15 days. So I've just been waiting for my passport to come as soon as it's back.
Okay. Got it. All right. Sounds good. Well, I was going to say it would also be nice to come and meet you in person. Of course, times are tough right now, but I will probably won't. Well, we'll see. Let's have a talk. If things are getting really interesting, and I'll say it might be that you have other people that I should meet down there and speak to about investments.
That's what I was going to get to, that, I have a lot of people who might be interested in kind of, chipping in.
Yeah.
So we can definitely talk about that. Maybe you can take a trip to Dubai. I can make you meet the important people in the scrap industry in the Middle East region.
Would love that.
That are like mine. So
yeah,
you never know.
Yeah, I would be down there next day. I mean, I love Dubai anyway. I've been there several times, but I would most definitely love to meet you in person and meet people, also other scrap industry people within the UAE. I'm sad that I didn't make it to the DMR this time around, but I couldn't do it because I had another obligation. I didn't know the date was coming. I wasn't paying attention well enough. But anyway, I'm happy to come down there. Just so you know, like let's just try to move this forward with the discussion on the investment piece. I am on the 15th of December. I'm going to take 2 weeks off and go to Mexico, to Cancun, stay with a friend down there. So I'll be, if there's anything we can do between now and then, I would love to come down for 2-3 days and, and be with you in person. And also, AJ, when you get into this, you start understanding what we're doing and where it's going. And you're talking about making a sizable investment in the company. I want you to have all the information that you want to have. I want to really, because there is so much going on. Like there's so much on the program. I'll leave you with this thought. Basically, what I've realized that this whole vision for the company is expanded because of Corona, which accelerated our adaptation into the sector, because people are now looking for ways to meet without traveling. And that's what we've offered for this whole time. So now it put this whole vision on the roadmap for creating the Amazon of the global trade of industrial raw materials, all kinds of agricultural products. Essentially, Amazon being this box where you don't really need to know the other party on the other side. You go in and go, okay, this is a company that's trading this material, or they're dealing in this stuff. I'm going to buy it from them. The relationship, handshaking, all the headaches and stuff is removed. And essentially, it just becomes easy to just transact business and sell to people that don't know you and you don't know. Therefore, you can increase volumes. It becomes easier to sell smaller quantities as well, because you don't have to we do big quantities because we're trying to make it easy to manage our risk, because you can only manage so many people, so many contacts, right? But when you have a system where you don't have that risk exposure anymore, where there's insurance for fraud, where there's finance, that is sitting inside that's brought in from the crypto markets, where all the money you need is there. All you need to do is connect the dots and make deals happen. And I think it takes the trading company concept and moves it more towards what you see with like day trading in the financial sector. Once we take all these variables out and remove the risk, agree on standard practices, have a scoring system, you end up with this box like Amazon, and we know how valuable Amazon is. Right. So that's what this is. And that's I'll share a lot more with you, and I would love to have you guys involved in it. It would be amazing. Sure. Yep.
Sure. Absolutely. You let me know whenever you're free next week, so then I can ask my partner accordingly, and then we'll find a suitable time when all three of us can get on a call together, and then we can see how we can go about it. And in the meanwhile, you can share the paperwork with me. So
I will do that. I'm just looking at my schedule. I've already got my 25th. I'm moving, so I'm actually we bought a house a while back. We're moving into it, so that's happening. So my end of the week is kind of busy. 23rd, 24th, so Tuesday, Wednesday are possible, and then from there we can do the following week. So if you want to see if Tuesday or Wednesday works already, please let me know. Otherwise, if I don't hear back on that, then I'll check with you Monday and we'll set up another day.
Okay, no problem.
Yep. I'll start getting you information over. I'm working on a high level kind of deck because the one I have is very detailed. I tell you what, I think I will do though. I'll probably share that very detailed deck with you. It's a business plan. It's not like it's really, you can see all the whole story. So I'm just going to put that out. I put it out for investors that are looking at putting in higher amounts. So I'll send you that deck. You're going to be quite surprised.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'll do that to you. That's between, but this is very confidential. As in, I'm not even going to bother with any kind of agreements. Just trust.
You can have an agreement if you want.
It's okay. No, I've heard, you know what, agreements at the end of the day, it's not, it's neither here nor there. Just understand that this is our business plan. It's for your eyes and for your partner's eyes. And if you need to share it with anybody else, please consult with me first. I'm laying all the cards on the table.
Sure,
so I trust you, so I'm not worried about it. I just wanted to let you know what I'm sending your way. All right.
Sure. All right, Chris. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. Same here, AJ.
Let's hope we get somewhere good with this whole thing.
All right, we will. Sounds good. Okay, we'll see you hopefully early part of next week then. Have a nice one. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Take care, Chris.
See you. Bye-bye.